Hi, my name is Torres, and today I'm going to conduct a usability test as part of a study for interactive web elements at TSCC. It's September 28th, 2025, and we're going to take a closer look at the Houston Zoo. Now, for this usability test, I created a hypothetical situation where I would be visiting the Houston area around Thanksgiving with my nephews. So I wanted to find out if the Houston Zoo would be open during Thanksgiving and what their hours would be, the pricing for a 16-year-old child ticket and a 6-year-old ticket, and I also wanted to see if they had an aquarium. So let's take a closer look at the website and see if we can get this information from them. So let's start by going over to the website. Let's go to Houston Zoo, and this would be it. Okay, so the first impression on the website looks very inviting. Looks like they're getting ready for Halloween. Let's just go through this website down here real quick. I have some information here on the top right side. Plan your visit, what to do, today's hours, tickets. They have the schedule, upcoming events, Zoo News blog, donate today, become a member. So there appears to be a lot of helpful information on this first page when you visit the Houston Zoo, but I'm going to start here at plan your visit, and it looks like zoo hours is where I should go, but if we take a look at prices and discounts, tickets, parking, and directions, it looks like all the information I'm going to need is right here under plan your visit. I'll go over here to zoo hours. Daytime admission hours are listed as 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Open 7 days a week. Doesn't say anything about holidays. Let's go ahead and reserve tickets. And here it seems like they would have the prices for the tickets or some information for general admission. And it looks like we have a calendar down here. So today is September 28th, and they do have the rest of September published, September 29th and 30th. Now, I know that I want to visit the zoo in November, so I'm going to go over here to November. And it looks like they don't have the hours for Thanksgiving 2025 published yet. So the schedule was easy to find, but the information that I was looking for just isn't available at the moment. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, technically it's still 2 months in advance, and they haven't published that yet. If you take a look at October, it looks like they do have all of October ready to go. This is definitely one of those situations where you would want to come back and see if they have that information available. I wonder if November will be available as soon as October rolls around in that first week. The other helpful piece that I see here, they do have the phone number listed down here. So you could just give them a phone call and really figure out if they're open on Thanksgiving Day or not. But I think that completes this task, and I'm gonna go ahead and move over onto our next task. Okay, so for this next task, what I wanted to do is check to see if I can get the pricing for a 16-year-old child and a 6-year-old. So let's go ahead and take a look at the website and see if we can get pricing for these two different age groups. Now, again, we're already here at the website. Let's go back over here to plan your visit, and let's take a look at prices and discounts. Hmm. Actually, right beneath that, there's tickets. So my initial impression was to go to prices and discounts, but I mean, I'm really trying to get ticket pricing. So let me just click on tickets. And here we have some general information on reserving your tickets. Uh, let's just click on reserve daytime tickets. Houston Zubu. So this is taking you to some different attraction here. I'm gonna go over here to general admission. Okay. And let me just, here I can see uh, adults are considered anyone between 13 to 64. So my older nephew would be considered an adult. And children are considered between 3 and 12. So my younger nephew would be a child. Now, they don't have the prices here, which is interesting. It looks like I actually have to make a selection so I can get prices. And it appears I have to select a date. I'm just going to go ahead and select this next date. It should be the 29th. And now I'm actually getting ticket pricing. So if we look at ticket pricing for a Monday, you'll notice that in the morning it's at $32.95 for an adult and $26.20 for a child. And the pricing actually goes down as the day goes. Later in the afternoon, the pricing actually goes down to $30.95 for an adult and $23.20 for a child. So I was able to find this information. It just took me a couple clicks. Uh, you know, honestly, when I went to plan my visit and I selected tickets, I really thought it was going to take me straight to the tickets. But instead, what it did is it took me to the daytime admission tickets and Houston Zoo members. What was very interesting to me is I clicked on daytime tickets and it brought me over here to the Zubu Fall Fun Pass. And I still need to click on general admission tickets. So getting this information wasn't as intuitive as I thought it would be. It does take a couple clicks to get the information that you need, but it's there. It's just not super upfront. Okay, so for this last task, I wanted to see if the Houston Zoo had an aquarium. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website. See if we can find out if it has an aquarium. Okay, so one more time, let's go back to the homepage. And this time we're looking for some attractions. Uh, let's start over here at the top. Let's go over here to what to do. I'm looking for an aquarium, so let's take a look at our exhibits. Under exhibits, it has African forest, bird habitats, birds of the world, bug house, explore the wild nature play area, Galapagos Islands. Now this looks like it might be an aquarium, but doesn't outright say aquarium. Okay, so I mean this looks like it might be the aquarium that we're looking for. And if we read a little bit about it, it does talk about the aquarium here. Okay, so for this last task, I'm just looking here trying to figure out if the Houston Zoo has an aquarium, and it's really not straight up as to whether they do or don't have an aquarium. Now, honestly, just by taking a closer look at the website, I can really see that they do have an aquarium or like a water type exhibit. But one thing that I noticed when I was trying to go back, it's actually opening up different tabs whenever I click on something. So this makes navigating the website a little bit hard because I can't just go back the way I normally do. Um, Very interesting that the website would just open up a completely new link, a new tab instead of taking you over to the next link. I'm still not 100% sure if they do have an aquarium based on the information that I see here on the website. You know, I can see and infer that they have an aquarium, but it wasn't as clear cut. Okay, so I want to share my final thoughts on the Houston Zoo website after reviewing the video and just looking at the website a little bit closer. Uh, it was very easy for me to find the initial information that I was looking for. For instance, when I was looking for the scheduling information, it was easy for me to find the schedule itself, but getting the details as to specific hours on specific days, that was not up front. And I had a similar situation with getting ticket information for children. I was able to find where you would get the tickets, but the pricing, it wasn't straightforward. It requires that you click on it a little bit, and that might be because the pricing differs during hours, and it's important that you know exactly what time you're going to go so you can get the accurate pricing. But then we go into this other situation where I was trying to figure out if they had an aquarium or not. And it's clear that they have an aquarium because they have fish and sharks. You can see that in their website, but it doesn't say, "Hey, come visit our aquarium. Come look at our sharks." They advertise it as the Galapagos Island exhibit, and that's where your aquarium is. Now, the initial impression of the website, it's actually it actually looks very nice. You know that you're looking at a zoo website, and it's geared towards families. It's very inviting. It is. I'm gonna say it's easy to navigate. However, the details of the information, it may not be right there at your fingertips the way it should be. It does require that you dig around the website a little bit. But as far as usability, I'm gonna definitely say it's usable. And the fact that the number is right there at the bottom of every page makes it very easy for you to call the the zoo and get the information that's not on the website. But I was trying to do something a little bit more, really trying to get a specific date far, not too far out into the future. It just seems that they do have a lot of information available for October already. It Going through the website, it looks like they had about 4 or 5 different events for the month of October, and I gotta give them credit for providing relevant information as to what's coming up. So, the Houston Zoo website is definitely informative. I'm gonna say it's user friendly. I would give it a passing grade. It gives me a very good impression. It actually makes me want to visit the zoo. I was afraid that after visiting the website, I might not want to go to the zoo anymore. But it was designed in a way or it left a good impression on me in the end. So, who knows? Maybe I'll visit for Thanksgiving. We'll see.